Hi, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today we're going to be talking about a bit of a debate over whether beautiful design is actually important for funnels or not. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. So one thing I found rather amusing is the common perception that it's important to have a beautifully designed funnel that looks amazing. And, to get the right balance and to put this into perspective, I'm not taking it to one extreme and saying that you should be sloppy and, just throw something together without caring. There's obviously a funnel that looks like a 5-year-old has built it. Comes across as unprofessional. It will turn people off, and it will look like, you've got no idea and you don't know what you're doing. But at the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of funnels out there that you can see that the owner has gone to a lot of, or he takes it really seriously as far as the design of the funnel goes, and you can tell that there's been a lot of time and effort put into it. But the big debate really is the time and effort worth it, or is it just a waste of time and resources? Because those that are frequently obsessing about making pages look amazing, they're really missing the point. And the three most important factors of any funnel as far as conversions are concerned are, in order, first of all, the list, or it could be the traffic, same thing. 2 is the offer, so what you're actually selling, the product, or not just the product, but the complete offer. It might be a product and plus bonuses. And then number 3 is the copy, or as some people call it, the creative, which is either the text on the page or the script for the video, or it could be a combination of both. So that's where I'm now going to introduce an excellent book written by Brian Kurtz called Over Deliver. Now, this is an amazing book that I highly recommend, and you could say that Brian is one of the almost the founding fathers of modern day marketing. He started in the early 1980s renting out lists to marketers. And keep in mind, back in those days, there's obviously no internet back then. And basically, all of the marketers in those days, they were using print to sell their products, either through direct mail, which is sales letters that are printed out in the post, or through newspapers, so print newspapers that people were buying, and they'll see an ad in the newspaper, and then make a phone call to purchase something. So he's old school. He's been involved in this for 40 odd years. Not just offline but also online as well. So he's definitely probably, if not the most qualified person in the world to talk about it, he would be one of the most qualified. So anyway, with that said, he lists the breakdown between the list, the offer, and the copy as the list being 41% importance of your promotion, the offer being 39%, and then the copy being 20%. So when you first look at that, it looks a bit odd. Why would the list and the offer, be 41 and 39? Why aren't they just an even 40-40? And the reason for that is quite strategic, actually, because a lot of people say that the list is 40, the offer is 40, and the copy's 20. But the whole point that Brian's making here is that the list is really the most important thing over the offer, and that's why it should be weighted just a little bit higher so that it's ranked number 1. So list 41, offer 39, and copy 20. And the important thing here is to notice how there's no mention of design at all. And there's a good reason for that, because really it's not that important at all. Brian also mentions that, technology is a bit overrated as well, and that's not quite as important as everybody thinks, which to a degree he's got a point. However, with my sort of background, I would tend to disagree a little bit, because these days, if you're not using cutting edge technology, then your competitors will be using it and they will have an advantage. However, he's got a bit of a point, but so really what I'm getting at here, though, is that he doesn't even mention graphic design or design at all. So, you know, here are some quite valid reasons why you should go with a plain but not horrible design for the pages in your funnel. So first of all, the images slow down the load time of a page. And obviously, if you've got an image that's 3 megabytes, it's going to load a lot faster if you compress that down to 300 kilobytes. Ideally, you're not going to lose any quality of the image or resolution when you compress it. With a lot of the compression tools these days, you can compress it right down and it will look almost exactly the same as it did originally. So that's highly recommended. But even so, if you've got 20 images on a page, even if you're compressing it down, each image, it's still going to take a while for those 20 images to load on the page. And by the time the person that's going to buy, the customer or the prospect, has got tired of waiting for everything to load, they've probably closed the page and gone off and done something else, and you've lost them forever. So, that's why it's important to, if you are going to use images, to only use a few of them, and to also, make sure that they actually add value to the page and they're there for a reason. So that sort of leads me on to the next point here, where the images distract the reader or the person watching the video from the sales copy. So when I'm talking about images here, that can also be, backgrounds to the page. I've seen certain video backgrounds that just look amazing, nice, pretty patterns and, beautiful looking photographs. And the whole point here, though, that I'm making is that it distracts the reader. So rather than reading the copy or watching the video, they're actually looking at your design and being, wowed by the design. But how is that going to help you to convert them to actually purchase the product? It's not. It's just going to distract them. So the less distraction in the background, the better. So beautiful design also takes up a lot more time and costs you more to set up the funnel. So this is a good point as well. If you compare a page where it's got amazing graphics, amazing background, amazing images, and you compare it to a page that's just got a white background and say 2 or 3 images, which one do you think takes up more time to do and costs you more to set up the funnel with? Obviously, it's the one where, you've gone to all of that effort to make it look amazing, like some sort of masterpiece. So obviously, the more it costs you to set up the funnel, then the less profit you get as well. All right, so the next one, pretty design really makes any positive difference to conversion rates. So this sort of continues on from the other points that I've made, but if your page looks amazing, then it's really not going to make too much difference to the conversion rates at all. I mean, you might have the worst design on the page, but an amazing offer, amazing copy that really entices the reader. That's always going to convert better than a page that looks amazing, but the copy's boring, bland, not interesting, doesn't hit the pain points, and you lose the prospect. So, that's where you've got to weigh up the balance here. What's more important, the actual sales message or how pretty it looks? And then finally, buyers will hardly even notice it as the images I'm talking about, as they are more interested in your offer and what your product service can do for them. So they're on the page for a reason, and it's not to look at your sexy graphics, is it? It's to find out how your product or service is going to, either give them pleasure or remove their pain, or get them closer to what they're desiring. That's what they're really there for. They're not there to look at nice images. Okay, and then this isn't just pages that I'm talking about either, because obviously funnels aren't just pages. That also includes follow-up messages as well, and usually, in most cases, the follow-up messages will be emails. And that's another thing that people really obsess over is sending out amazing looking emails, where it looks like, they're Coca-Cola or Adidas or some huge company, that's got thousands of employees, and the whole email is HTML with amazing graphics. And yeah, I mean, they just go to all lengths to make the email look amazing. But the thing that I've noticed is that no matter which email service you're using, whether it's, Actionetics with ClickFunnels, or if it's MailChimp or Aweber or whatever, they won't always, the emails, if they're HTML, they won't always turn out perfect in all cases, because it depends on the software that the person is using to open the email. So when you're sending out HTML emails, there's always the chance that the email is going to look all messed up, because the person's email software, is not designed to, or it doesn't read the HTML properly, and it looks all messed up and it doesn't make sense. And you basically lose the entire message that you're trying to get across because people can't read it. So that's sort of a long-winded way of saying that, in my opinion, you're better off just using plain text and links, not buttons as well, because the buttons can sometimes not format properly as well and they look weird. So, just plain text and links. And obviously the links need to be clickable. So, when I say plain text, it needs to at least look like plain text, and the links need to be clickable. Keep it simple, keep it personal, so that it looks like it's actually sent from a person and not a company. That's my advice anyway. Otherwise, you're just overdoing it, and there's every chance that it won't display properly at the other end. So anyway, in summary, I realise I've probably ruffled some feathers and upset those that are graphic designers or those that really appreciate nice looking design. So I'd like to add that images do still have their place in a funnel. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be using images at all, or you should just have everything plain white with black text. The point though is that, really images should be kept to a minimum. And they should always be compressed to reduce the file size, and they must be relevant to the copy on the page. So there's no point adding pictures of nice dogs to a page or to an email that have got really no relevance to the product that you're selling. It's just taking up unnecessary space, distracting people, and there's no real need to put it on there. So you don't just add images to make the page look nice. They have to be there for a purpose, which is to contribute to the desired conversion that you're looking to do, whether that's to get somebody to opt in, or to make a purchase, or to book an appointment on a calendar, or whatever. There needs to be a purpose and a reason why the sexy graphics or images are actually there. So the point I'm making here is that design and images are way overrated when it comes to building a successful funnel. And it's not necessary to have the amazing looking funnel to get it to convert and to make you money. If you just stick to a basic looking design that's quick and easy to whip up, that looks decent but not shocking, but concentrate strongly on getting a very nice offer that is going to appeal to your target market, and then constructing a sales message that's going to appeal to them and pique their interest immediately, and basically make them think, yeah, I need that. This looks fantastic. That's what's important, not the design, not the images. And whether you've got nice images and nice design on the page or not, it really makes no difference. What's important is the actual message that you're getting across on the page, and if you're solving their problem or helping them to achieve their desire. So anyway, starting to repeat myself a little bit here. Hopefully you've got the message there and that resonates with you, and hopefully you've got some value out of that, and I'll catch up with you on the next episode of Funnel Fella Radio. Bye for now.